think I'm gonna try that one again. I think I can definitely make it to 200. Don't think it'll fit on the scoreboard, but I think it'll still be good. No siphon here. Okay, let's try this again. So, um, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. I'm sure you've heard that a million times before. There's no pressure. Like I don't intend to do this for a living, so it's just for my own fun. In case you want to see more builds like this. Um, Probably gonna post about once every couple weeks, if I had to take a guess. I feel like weird builds that maybe aren't quite quote unquote meta builds. I don't know, the builds that everyone else seems to be using. I think that's mostly what this is gonna be. At some point, I'm gonna run out of ideas, but I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully you guys are enjoying. I'm not going to be posting only Nova Drift, by the way. That's what I'm starting with because I feel comfortable with it. I also know that the community is relatively small, so having more content and more builds out there is just going to help people, I think. Because this game really feels small, but it's also so big at the same time. I probably didn't explain that very well, but like there's a very limited number of mods. I don't know, maybe 100 mods in the game, and somehow it still feels like there are so many different things you can do. And sure, there are obviously going to be some things that are always more powerful than others. That's the nature of any video game, right? Or any game, period. I mean, even looking at things like chess, right? You've got the tools that are better for you, and you've got other tools. Like nobody's going to think that a pawn is as strong as a queen, right? And sometimes knowing how to use your different options and using them well together is a little tricky. Like sometimes you'll be like, oh, it's a red mod. I'm doing a weapon build. I should just pick up that red mod. But how many people stopped and thought about, not taking any red mods with the weapon build? Uh, yeah. So, I don't know. How's everyone's day been going? Day, week, month? I don't know. Whatever relevant amount of time period it is. Okay, and with discharge and reflexive shields, like, sure, having more of them is obviously going to be more damage, but starting off, that's more than enough, I think. Um, yeah, so we want this whole tree. We want the left side of this tree. Let's start with hull, so we don't die like last time, like an idiot. As we just face tank a bunch of missiles, not being an idiot. Nice. We're gonna wait for the shield to come back. Definitely can't win on this. We need both advanced engineering and improved thrusters, but I think I'll take advanced engineering first. Sure, I can go for radiant shields. Another thing that I noticed that a lot of newer players don't do enough is that don't utilize screen wrapping. it's super strong. Even if you have a build that uses Warp Strike, screen wrapping is often still worth using. So normally when you take an opening to a tree, you're adding two mods to the pool, and often you'll only want one of them, especially as the case is with assault drones. However, when we take assault drones, we're not adding two mods to the pool while we're removing only one. Like if we took stabilization, right, we're removing one mod from the pool and adding two. Um, in the case of assault drones, we're actually removing two mods from the pool. We're removing both assault drones and defense drones from the pool. So while it normally you want to avoid such a thing when you don't have to, right? Generally, you're going to want to open here. Like when I took shield cooldown, I was adding two mods to the pool, but I wanted them both. So that's a good thing. And if I take efficiency, while efficiency itself isn't bad for when my shield is down, the other two mods are both very bad for me. So I don't want either one of them. So I'm essentially taking out one mod from the pool, but adding two, making my pool more dilute, and I'll have a harder time finding what I want. Um, so assault drones, at a glance, it does that too, but since it's removing defense drones too, it's fine taking that when that's your only consideration. Believe it or not, I'm actually going to take barrier here and just ignore that completely, but uh, I figured it would be worth pointing out, as it's something that also is not apparent at a glance why it's necessarily not always advised to do that. Obviously now the number one mod that we're looking for is shielded constructs. Um, there are still a lot of mods we need. It's still early in the build. The shielded constructs is going to get us a bunch of different of these rapid fire beams. Yeah, if we're talking about this build, I think it's very important to discuss why I went with the weapon and shield combo that I went with. So um, I went with split shot for the high rate of fire. It's 7.5 shots per second, which is the second highest in the game of any weapon. The only weapon that shoots faster is Torrent. Now, Torrent is a lot harder to start out with. It's short range, makes it a bit difficult to use, and it doesn't have the blast damage that Split Shot does. The second dot all the way on the left, Split Shot deals, I believe it's 30%, yeah, 30% face damage as a small blast around its impact point, which really helps dealing with like the snakes early on, enemy snakes. Those can be quite difficult to deal with. Um, and Torrent, just you have a much harder time if you don't have blast radius. And the other reason is that this doesn't impede your maneuverability at all. So you don't need to go looking for things like strafe to counterman that, um, which is also just nice. Now think about this rocket drones, right? You probably noticed I took reinforced drones, took advanced engineering. The reason I like reinforced drones and not rocket drones is because rocket drones is actually DPS down. You lose damage taking rocket drones. And while it's only 4%, which isn't really noticeable, um, the fact that you're spending a point to lose to lose impact, to lose damage, just doesn't seem worth it to me. And while yes, it does mean that they're going to target asteroids first, which um, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Once you have pursuit drones, I mean, sorry, not target asteroids, but although they do destroy um, segmented enemies and asteroids a lot better with rocket drones, it just doesn't feel worth spending a point on. I'd much rather them be a little bit tankier, potentially survive a hit or two more than they normally would. It just seems like an easy trade-off for me. So regenerative shields also, while it only adds one mod to the pool, it actually removes two, since once you take regenerative shields, you banish rapid reconstruction from the pool. Because nobody's going to want both, ever. So Chimeric decided that if you take one, you banish the other. Um, so we're going to take that. Obviously, we want assault drones, otherwise we wouldn't be able to get pursuit and fleet, and then no Apex machinery. So we can't winnow this. Otherwise, there's not really anything here that we'd want. So other than that, it would be a good winnow. But we're gonna take what we see. Spending rerolls in wild mode isn't recommended if you don't have to. Just because, especially after the latest patch in Syzygy, it's a lot harder to get rerolls. Okay, there's weaponized shields, which isn't bad. Okay, we would really like to get shielded construct right about now. Maybe the burn tree. Oh, he's gone. Rip experience. So I was mentioning why I like split shot, and then I got distracted as to why I like siphon. So the reason I like siphon is twofold. For one, you get extra damage, right? Because if you see the second line, you get I guess it starts in the third line. The second point, when it deals damage, your shield effect power and shield radius are increased over time. So you can get 40% extra damage just from using the Siphon Shield, which is more than you get with, say, Bastion or Halo. And 40% is not nothing. Um, it'll also be easier for you to hit with your discharge. And with this many allies, this many drones, I mean, that extra range is actually quite substantial. Um, And believe it or not, modifiers, the shield effect power actually modify that increase, which is very nice. There we go, elegant construction, so we can start seeing shielded constructs. And again, we're adding 2 mods to the pool and only removing 1, which is generally bad, but we really need it at this point, so we can't really be picky. Um, we're gonna take actually Juggernaut here, I think. Ooh, I really feel slow now. I mean, Engineer isn't really a fast ship to begin with. I hate eclipses so much. Let's take corrosion. Unfortunately, the damage here isn't ideal because we only have one source of discharge and reflexive shield. As you can see, it's still decent. I mean, we killed Scion fairly fast. There we go. There's our shielded constructs. Okay, let's see. Take a Adrenal module, just to remove a good one from a tree and make it easier to find what we want. Flash shielding does the same. And I think we really want flash shielding so we can get Tempest Break going. And so that whenever a shield does pop, it will be down for as short as possible. And there are times where, with this many drones, you can't help but have it be popped. So the reason I'm not shooting here is because even when you don't take efficiency, some of you probably know this, but even when you don't take efficiency, your shield recharges quicker um, when you're not shooting. The shield recharges quicker, you recover your hull regenerate your hull, excuse me, faster when not firing. It's another reason hidden power is, I think, a lot stronger than people realize. Um, I think hidden power does a number of things that don't give it enough credit. Um, Maybe that's a topic for another video. I'll talk about maybe hidden benefits of some of the best mods in the game and why they may not be as apparent as just reading what's on the text of the mod. Oh, I'm gonna die. Okay. Um, yeah, we'd really like to get core shielding. Okay, that's going to be really good for our survivability. And again, it doesn't open up any new mods for us to take it, and it's a good mod that we want, so there's really no reason not to take it. I want him to charge at me. There we go. And volatile shields just took care of the rest for us. We got a nice amount of rerolls from that. These are both very good. Let's take this one for now. This is a bit tricky. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we do want this. I'm still feeling sluggish from Juggernaut. This is going to offset that. Oh, there went our shield. Now, these guys, certainly early on, they're a bit of a joke, but the later you go, starting with wave 100, they actually shoot faster and faster. And you can have a wall of bullets just start hitting you out of nowhere. And because they shoot rapid fire like that, and there are often many of them together, you can really be surprised and just die, or at least I do. You all are probably a lot better than I am. Still, I don't know. I'm no twitchy aim god or anything. Oh, oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. I just drove into all the bullets there. Yeah. I think now we'd like to start building towards Apex Machinery and Tempest Break if we can. And of course, our shield popped again. Still haven't seen Drone Specialist, which would be nice to have. Um, Not super important, but it's nice. It's a little bit more damage. Does make the shield smaller though. Oh, we have Pursuit. Okay, so we'd really like to start building towards Apex. Oh yeah, I guess I got it back then. So we'll need Fleet if we want to get Apex. But the number one thing about Drone Specialist is actually going to be the construct assembly speed. It's kind of crazy considering +2 drones is usually the most important thing about it. But for this build, I think the construct assembly speed is easily the most impactful thing about it. Just so that when your drones do go down, and they will go down because they're drones, that they come up much, much faster. Sure, we're gonna get this in the meantime while we wait. So if you'll notice, sometimes enemies will take 42 damage and sometimes they'll take 50 damage. It's because of weaponized shields. Weaponized shields, as it states, does increase damage to enemies within. And actually having more weaponized shields does increase that damage more. So if you'll notice, sometimes that damage will even be 52. And that was Seraph. Normally with our shields down, I just like to hide until they come back up. Okay, let's see if we can find. Oh, there's Apex Machinery. So the construct maximum hull is nice, not bad. 3% rate of fire isn't bad. Obviously the mine damage and mine effect is nothing, but the number one thing we want here is that 20% shield effect power. It's going to be huge because it increases not just discharge damage and not just reflexive shield damage, which are obviously both modified by shield effect power, as well as weaponized shields bonus damage. But Siphon's increase, that 40% increase, actually gets affected by shield effect power. So 20% of 40 is 8%, obviously. So that 8% is then applied again to reflexive shields. It's really, really strong, increasing shield effect power on the Siphon, which is the only reason that I really want to get focus shields. But I just think that if we do, we won't be in range to hit anything, which kind of defeats the purpose. Otherwise it would be a no-brainer. Yeah, I think after this, maybe I'll have one more run today. After that, I'll be heading out. Maybe I'll come on tonight, play a different game. Yeah, depending on how long this is, this might be my last run, and I might have one more. If you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to drop a follow on Twitch so that you know when I'm live. You can talk to me, share your build ideas, theorycraft. Just hang out. I don't know. I like most of the Nova Drift community. Lots of nice people. Oh, that's a little scary. Yeah, with Juggernauts, you gotta kill them quickly. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize that one spawned. I'm still looking for Tempest Break, I believe. I probably need Deadly Wake. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there went our shields again. So yeah, I'm not super good at this game, obviously, but it's fun. I have fun. I really like the theory crafting aspect involved. kind of determine which mods are better for which builds. Like for example, one thing that I do that I think nobody else in the entire community does is I never take blast radius with grenade, which I'm sure there are a lot of you thinking right now, why wouldn't you? And the reason that I don't personally is I just prefer heavy caliber. I think that having a couple of heavy calibers can really make a uh, much bigger impact than um, blast radius for grenades. But yeah, that's me personally. Like, even though I don't take it, obviously I don't blame anyone who does. Um, uh, I really would like them to fix the noise on the Celestials. Sometimes it looks like you got all of them. Like you hear the noise that's generally reserved for larger enemies, and you think that you got it because there's an explosion, and then you turn around and it's still flying around there, and you're like, hey, I thought I killed you, but nope. Yes, I'd really like it if they changed the sounds on that, so that the drones don't sound like a good enemy dying. There's our Tempest break, and I think right about now we start saving for Ataraxia. Let's send out the children into the wild. Yeah, the number one worst enemy for this build is definitely Eclipses. Both early, late, whenever, it's just so bad. It just feels sometimes like it's near impossible. Oh yeah, I was gonna wait for Ataraxia. Yeah, early, late, it almost doesn't matter. You never really want to see Eclipses. Those big here, another one, of course. Oh, and the shield's down. Those of you who are perceptive are gonna say, yeah, but Primer, the Eclipse is the reason the shield is down. Yep, yep, yep. That's exactly right. Um, yeah. I'm not a fan of facing that enemy. Design-wise, it's really cool though. One of my favorites for sure. I think Warbringer is my favorite boss design. Heal up, heal up. There we go. Recover some of that shield. Yeah. Ataraxia stacking. Gotta remember. I hate that there's that little notification on the bottom. Ready to upgrade. As if I don't know because I'm not saving for Ataraxia. Yeah. Oh, all my drones died. This is generally how I deal with large pockets of drones. Of enemy mines, I mean. Just screen wrap. There's still two. Oh, we're dying. There we go. Maybe after this, I'll give one shot at the speedrun build. Um, I haven't done a speed run in a long time, and I'm kind of in the mood. So I figure why not. Yeah, but this run should make it wave 200 if I'm being at least a little bit careful. And we got a boost. And so in my last video, I actually was told people had a hard time hearing me. I had my fan on in the background because it gets really hot over here. So usually I can't play very long without it on. And I don't know, it feels late enough that I shouldn't have the air conditioner on so much anymore. It's already the end of September. Yeah, if you kill juggernauts quickly enough, they're not much of an issue. As long as you're not being stupid. And here they come. It's another thing you can actually do with this build is um, when there's a high priority enemy, you can just fly near them and call your drones back to you so that you can make sure that they definitely kill the right enemies at the right time. Which for allies, for example, when you're running interceptors and not wingmen, you can't really do that so much. Obviously, there aren't many reasons to not run wingmen. Uh, chief among them that it does, like that wingman just does more damage. We got him. Oh no, oh no, we're dying. I wasn't being careful. They found the Juggernaut. They knew he was the high priority. They went after him without me. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, things can get hectic. And this build definitely doesn't have the screen clear of some of the better builds in the game. Certainly not the... Oh, we have enough. Let's keep looking. Still no Ataraxia. It doesn't like me today. I have 4 upgrades. Why isn't it showing up? No. Come on, Ataraxia. Still no. Sure. I would like Galvanic Outburst though. No, no. If I can't believe I just spent 9 rerolls and I didn't see Ataraxia. I never get what I want. I mean, the fact that I don't have drone specialists doesn't bother me too much. I get the feeling that it would make my life easier, but it's not so bad. Oh, another Scion. And now we can just hide behind him. Let our drone shields do the work. Oh, that's a base comet. Okay, that's the level up. Well, let's spend another bunch of rerolls. There we go. Okay, now if we see something we want, I can feel comfortable taking it. Like blink. Don't really want any of these. Don't really want any of these. Let's see. Still nothing here. I think it's fine to take quantum decoherence here. No, none of these. Okay, I think that's it for our levels. The build is officially complete. I mean, getting Galvanic Outburst would have been very nice. It just, we really needed Ataraxia, so I wasn't gonna roll the dice. Yeah, I definitely think 1 or 2 Galvanic Outbursts would have been very, very strong. Yeah, Corrosion is definitely a lot stronger than it should be. I think that it should take, it shouldn't take enemy health into account. It should take how many stacks of Corrosion are already applied. Because if you get like a couple of stacks of Corrosion on a very high health enemy, everything else nearby just dies eventually. And it just, well, it certainly feels fun. It's just way too strong. To the point where there's almost never a reason not to take it. And when there's no reason to not take it, it just doesn't feel, I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get Drone Specialist. So I don't think we're gonna come close to killing wave 200. Most likely. Between Drone Specialist and Galvanic Outburst, I think we're gonna have a struggle. And I'm not nearly good enough to just win on my piloting. Can we kill the Scion? Oh, we killed the Scion. So maybe we have a chance. Let's check. Hey, we cleared wave 200. Who just thought that on a drone build you could beat wave 200? On a drones and Siphon build, of all things. But yeah, this game just goes to show you that. Oh, I'm dying. I need to pay attention. But this goes to show you if you're smart with your building, with your build planning, with your theory crafting, I guess. If you play it smart and you don't do any stupid piloting mistakes, you can clear 200. And to me, a build that can clear 200 is that's where you want it. Most builds won't clear 200 if you don't have a plan in mind and a well thought out build. If you just kind of get stuff because you can, I don't think that's gonna work. I think that the reason this worked was, yeah, because our main damage source was taking advantage of our body, weapon, and shield combo. Um, that's really the thing, right? You have to think about what's your damage source, how do you increase your damage, how do you decrease the damage you take, and what's your primarily method of survivability if you have one. Right, in this case, we took Tempest Break. Most builds, you're going to want either Omni Shield, Tempest Break, or Rapid Reconstruction. But if you don't have one of those three, you're doing something wrong. Or I should say, you're probably doing something wrong. But every rule has its exceptions, right? But for me, I always ask, what's going to be my survivability? Oftentimes, you'll take even multiple, right? You can take, I don't know, Essence Sap along with Tempest Break, for example. Although I wouldn't really recommend taking Essence Sap along with Omni Shield or Essence Sap with, uh, what's the other one? Rapid Reconstruction. I would not recommend that. Because while yes, Rapid Reconstruction does give you a bigger hull, certainly not worth more than whatever shield you get. At least not in my eyes. If you take 100 damage but you have only 2 shield left, you're only going to take that 100 damage to your shield. It doesn't leak through to your body. So shields are actually a lot stronger than it would appear at a glance. Hey, 17,000 damage numbers, that's not a joke. So yeah, so judging on the timing, I don't think I'll have time actually to do another run after this. It's running a bit long as it is at 42 minutes. Oh no, don't die. This may very well be the end. It certainly feels like it. Yeah, but knowing that you can toggle your drone's formation on and off is also quite important. Gotta love snakes and corrosion. Yeah, popcorn snakes are kind of funny. I just drove right into that. I lost track of where I was facing. Can you believe it or not, with Siphon and all these weaponized shields stacked up, the drone's own shots are doing quite a bit. Of course, our shield pop. Let's flood the screen. Okay. Whew. That was pretty exhilarating. So yeah, I think that this is a lot stronger build than one might think at a glance. It's certainly the strongest build that focuses on drone-based damage that I could think of. Ooh, we almost died. We're dying. Yeah, regenerative shields is kind of killing us here. We're regenerating at half our normal speed. So if an enemy... Oh, I forgot I even had blink. So if an enemy sneezes on us, we're gonna die at this point. Especially with the damage scaling being what it is. So if you guys weren't aware, and I'm sure you were, But if you weren't, after starting with wave 100, enemies start to scale their damage, their health, and their rate of fire. Rate of fire turning all the major important stats. That's why Scions on wave 60 aren't nearly as dangerous as Scions on wave 160. That's why certain enemies, even though they're not really dangerous in the first couple waves, um, they can be very dangerous. Like my highest scoring run when I was using a Leviathan, I died to a Spitfire, the Wave 20 boss, just because it was shooting 6 shots a minute and just covering the whole screen, and it did that before I could hit it. Actually, 6 shots a minute, 6 shots a second, and it was covering the whole screen before I could hit it. So yeah, being Leviathan, you really hate persistent damage sources. So I just died. Oh, this is painful. These are probably gonna kill me. Last one. Can we survive? Oh, another one. No. We died. I think that was a fairly good run. I'm very proud of that one. I'm gonna stop here. The highest damage doesn't count burn damage, so you'll notice it's only at about 5.3 thousand. That's because it really doesn't count. Yeah, burn damage is persistent. It's highest damage in one single hit. Um, yeah, that's wave 261 on a drone build. Hope y'all had a good time. Let me know what you think. If you have any feedback, I'm very open to hearing it. It can be a build that you want to see me try. It can be how you would improve this build. There are different things you would do, like if you wouldn't take regenerative shields. I think that might have been a bait. Um, yeah, let me know. Uh, and have a good one. Hope you all are enjoying your week.